Well, it's 4 o'clock, so we might as well get started. It's January 29th, 2024, 4 p.m. This meeting is being held in the Merrill Transit System is being held in the Merrill City Hall Council chambers. A couple of us are attending by phone. And the second item on the agenda is public comment. Any public comment?
Yep.
Hold on.
Yeah, hi, my name is Ryan Vobernick. I'm is it working?
Should be on.
Okay. I'm
Get into it,
Can
please.
he hear you?
Yeah, I'm a resident of Merrill, and I'm here to ask let the committee expand the service area of the merry-go-round. I live in the subdivision just south on K. It's about 0.6 of a mile.
State your address, please.
1500 Delmore Drive.
Thank you.
I'm here to advocate for my son. He has autism, and it would allow him to get some more independent living skills and social interactions, as he is a senior in high school now, and he is not yet able to drive a vehicle.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do we have any other public comment?
Yeah. Public
one more.
comment is just making a statement.
Okay.
Answer public comment.
Yeah. This is new for me.
That's okay. Just
Steve Ost, Mayor of City of Merrill. I'm here to also ask that the commission open up to as much of the city as we can. We've had requests out on Glen Drive, which isn't too far away from our service cutoff. Now this out on Delmore Drive out there. I mean, this is within a half mile of the service. There's no reason that the bus can't make the circle and go around and pick somebody up. We run a bus east, we run a bus west, and then generally there's a third bus that runs. There's no reason that third bus can't pick up the person and crisscross or whatever needs to be done. All these people are taxpayers of the city of Merrill. They deserve to have the bus service too. I understand Rio Grande Drive might be an issue because there's no good way for the bus to turn around out there. But Delmore Drive, you can make the circle around. Glen Drive, you can go Glen Drive to Crescent Drive and around and back out. There's plenty of opportunity there. I think the commission really needs to consider opening this up. We're getting more and more requests. We're an aging community, and we need this. And it's not even for the aging community, it's for people in the schools too, that they can take the bus and be more independent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, no other public comment. We'll move on to approval of the minutes of the December 2023 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to
Entertain
accept the minutes as presented.
Can we change September
Yes, you
to
can.
November?
Yes, I know. Yeah.
And then I'll second it.
With that correction,
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay, none opposed. That carries. Item number 4 is the administrator's report. Go ahead, Brad.
Okay, ridership, I'm gonna try something new starting now, starting this year. We had 4,244 riders for the month of December and put on 3,572 miles for December. So that's where our ridership is at, and that is pretty average comparably to the past. Employees, we brought Paul on board. He is acting full-time training, filling in right now for some absent stuff, vacations and things. He will take over for Brandy when she starts on March 4th as the coordinator for a month of training with Lori, whose last day will be April 1st. So that is going to leave us exactly where we are at right now after Lori leaves as far as employees.
So you're going to be looking for.
We're still going to be looking for that that elusive part-time person. And I have a
Yes.
couple of leads on that. One person contacted me a while back. When they were retiring in January, so they have retired from their job and they need to wait 70 days, whatever it is, for WRS before they can work again. So kind of waiting for them to call back because that's where we had left it. Fourth quarter report. I think you guys got that right.
Yep.
Yep, okay. Those numbers are right in line with pretty much last year. And it's actually a little bit above from pre-pandemic. So as I went back and looked at the year, we had 53,811 riders in 2023, which is right at pre-pandemic levels.
Okay. Sounds good.
So that's what I have.
I'll make a motion to accept the administrator's report as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor of acceptance? Oh, go ahead.
I'm accepting, but I did have a question.
What is your question?
Okay, go ahead.
I just questioned, could you explain a little bit about the new person that's interested in the part-time job and why he needs to wait for 70 days?
Because he worked.
Is
He worked in the Wisconsin
ahead.
retirement system already. So when you quit from the Wisconsin retirement system, there's a number of days, and I don't remember if it's 60, 70, 90 days, whatever it is, they have to wait before they can actually work. And I don't remember if it's work or if it's work within the Wisconsin retirement system again.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Any other comment on the administrator's report?
A question, you said we hired a person named Paul?
Yes, Paul
Yes.
came back to us. Actually, he was a part-time driver previously, and came back
Okay.
for the full-time position to replace Brandy, because Brandy will be
Okay.
replacing Lori.
Okay, thank you.
So he's certainly familiar with our system.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
Yep. And
Okay.
it
Very-
has been a good thing so far. A lot of good feedback.
Okay, and
Good.
Brandy will be able to drive just like Lori
Yep.
had been able to, so in case we have
Shortage?
shortage, correct. We have to keep that up, yeah.
That is good too. Really good.
Okay, any other comments on the administrator's report? Okay, we've had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so that's passed. Now we're getting back into the service area mayor's request. That's item number 5 on the agenda. Just to start out, I think without pulling numbers out of the top of my head that wouldn't be very useful right now, I think it would be really good for us to take a hard look at that and really look at what the times are like as far as meeting our time deadlines right now, how we could possibly use the third bus to get people sort of shuttling. I think what the mayor was talking about, it's that almost would be like a shuttle system to feed someone into the east-west routes so they could stay on time. as opposed to maybe having one of the east-west buses. That's what I gathered you were talking about, is something like along those lines. So I think those are all things that are worth discussing and looking at. Being a
I guess
long time rider of the bus, I always I'm always really sad to see that we can't always serve the entire city. And, it's something that's good to look at.
What I would like to have is a better understanding. Now, we know we've had the Glen Drive request. Now, Delmer Drive is a new request. I think we need to be more specific on what areas, if we're going to open this up, where we are going to open it up, because I know Rio Grande Drive, obviously several years ago that was brought up. And so I think we need to have something presented to us so we can say this area is possibly feasible. No, this area is not. I'd like something more specific.
Are those the main areas
Me
that
too.
aren't served that are within the city limits?
That aren't served?
Yeah.
There's a small section, the apartments out towards the Mark.
Correct.
Then you've got Glen Drive, which is past South Alexander.
Yeah.
It's past that. And then you've got the Delmore area, which is the one
right up.
south of town where you turn on Joe Snow Road.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Rio Grande, which is the one that's
Behind the
like
golf
way
course.
back down past the golf course down there.
Yep.
And
Is there a reason
if-
that the apartments that you said, like the apartments going out towards the Mark, those are not serviced?
They are not. No, well, they weren't there originally.
Okay.
So they have, and we've had, I think, one.
One request, it was a school,
It was a
aged
child from
children.
school.
Okay.
And it would have been 2 buses going out there. And when we did the time to go out there and back, it took from our service point, the end of our service point right now, it took almost 15 minutes to go out, drop, and come back just to that point. So when you're talking about going everywhere we go, 15 minutes is a quarter of our hour.
So where's your
It's,
cutoff then on
Royal.
the main road there?
Royal.
Okay.
So it's 1 block past Champaign. Rick,
Yes.
do you have information? Me? No, Rod. Rod is here with some information about the past as to why the service area is what it is currently. If you would like to give him the floor.
Sure. Without objection.
I'm seeing none.
Okay. Go ahead, Rod.
It was back in October of 2011. The commission was informed of an anticipated $20,600 reduction in 2012 state and federal assistance. It's at that time that it was decided to reduce the mileage. And it talks about an efficiency standard of 1.1 mile per passenger, which this would exceed by decreasing the mileage. I think at that time, that's why it was decreased, not because of, that's the way it's explained in the minutes anyway,
Timing issue.
instead of a timing issue. And I guess there's a couple other comments as far as different transit meetings over the years of why the service area was reduced for situations when people do request, and they did have an item on the agenda. They do talk about, the Rio Grande Drive area as far as change to 1 hour service levels. I guess in all this, I would recommend trying it for 3 to 6 months and seeing what kind of issues there are. Again, belabor the point, but almost to prove the point. It'd be no different than once the garbage trucks are full that we say we're not gonna pick up any more garbage because it's inefficient. Or there's a certain spot we pick up the plow and not plow. It's that way for this gentleman as far as he's paying taxes and he's not getting service. I do understand the timing issue, but I guess my recommendation was try it and see what happens. Any questions, Rick, as far as what I presented there?
No. I guess that what would happen then would be I think it would be up to Brad to try to plan a way of putting that in place.
This would not necessarily be a regular pickup or drop off, because I know the Glen Drive people, it's just maybe more in the winter when she talked. So even with this situation on Delmore, I don't know how much frequency. We just are going to have to discuss and see how much ahead you know, or what the. I guess a lot of these people that are taking it, are they doing it because they need to be to work in an hour, or they're just doing it because they need to go shopping at Walmart or the county market, and so.
That are riding the bus?
Correct, right now.
We have people that have medical appointments, people that have to be to work, people going to school, people going to eat. For all those reasons are the reasons that people are using the bus.
Correct. And so they know that within an hour, okay, I'm going to be picked up, but within an hour, I will make my appointment at the Marshfield Clinic.
The people that utilize it currently are aware that there are times and make their appointments accordingly.
But you can have fluctuations within the service area as far as number of pickups too that can alter it by.
Absolutely.
And from Royal out to there, I mean, I'll take your word for it as far as the 15-minute, but I can't see that. I mean, that's only another 5 blocks and turn around and come back. Anyway, not to belabor that point. But there may be a time when you have 5 pickups and it gets delayed. Is this going to affect when those 5 pickups are and you got to go further? Yes, but it may be to the point where it's 2 pickups and 1 pickup outside of the service area where you can still make the timing. Again, I would recommend just at least trying it, and that would be the best gauge of all. We can say we can't do it, and if you look at your report, it's down to 0.88 miles per rider. So if the mileage increased a little bit back up to that 1.1 level or even 1.3 level that it was back, 4 or 5 years ago, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world.
And you guys go to the Mark, right?
Only during the summer when it's.
We do go to the Mark.
Yes.
We take groups out there. We take your group.
Yep. But like if kids
To
want to like
the-
go to the aquatic center in the summer.
In the summer, we have 3 different times we go out
Right.
to the aquatic center.
Okay, so you do go. So then if you were picking up from the apartments, it would be kind of the
Right
same.
in
But
the
it's more
same.
scheduled when you go to the Mark, or how does that work?
In the summertime?
Yeah.
Yeah, we go out there.
Yes.
We're out at the market,
Yep.
12, 2, and 4.
Oh, okay.
Or there's playground, summer playground program out there. We take kids out there in the morning.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
I'm not opposed as to whatever you guys decide. If we're gonna open up the entire city, we open up the entire city and try and make it work. That's the decision of the commission. If we have always prioritized riders as far as their destinations, if somebody's got to be to work, we prioritize that work over school or medical appointments because we don't want anybody getting fired from their job. So you start adding all this time on, perhaps you're going to have all this time where you're running out to Glen Drive or you're running up to up to the subdivision or Rio Grande or out to the,
I
out towards the
guess
mark, whatever.
We can look at this to only open up to certain areas. I know you don't think Rio Grande Drive would be one that.
That's a lot of time to go.
Correct,
there.
correct.
Yeah,
So that's why I said I'd like to see a map or area, what, if we did open it, is this this is a good possibility that we can do Glen Drive and we can do Delmore, or, you know, I would like to see something that, yes, this is a possibility, we can make this happen, and we can also make this happen, but this is not going to be able to be feasible because of, you know, being so far out.
There were only 4 areas that were restricted, and you just mentioned all of them: South Center, Martin Street beyond Lark, Grand Avenue beyond Royal, and West Main beyond Alexander. So,
North Pier,
what's that?
North Pier, to the church.
Yeah, that's not on the list of exclusions at that October 11th meeting.
So my question, and I'm just gonna ask the question because I don't know the answer. Were these outlying areas annexed after this time frame? I don't know when, like when these areas were annexed. I have no idea.
My home was built in 2008, and he's saying he was reading off of 2011, so I highly doubt there's very many houses in that subdivision when mine was built.
Or
Was that area part of the city or was it
Yes.
annexed after that?
It's
it was
always
annexed
been.
before that.
That's all it has been? Okay, I don't know.
And the
Because
area.
I know the church up on Mill Street was annexed in, and I don't know when that was. Somebody had told me he was, but that was after.
Was that the church on Pier that?
Yeah,
that
Hillside.
they
The-
came- Hillside, okay.
Pier Street.
I didn't realize that was in the city.
That's
can
in the
check
city
the-
limits.
Can check the date on that one, but
I think
that was before.
Hillside Fellowship is the one I think you're thinking of.
Yep.
Hillside Fellowship.
That one was brought up a couple
Yep,
meetings
we had that
ago.
one
Yes.
a few
Yeah.
months ago.
The one you're talking about that was
And
over
I-
south, is that?
It was annexed after 2011.
The one that you're saying is 15 minutes out, you said, they're talking that that's been, at what time frame was that asked to be part of the transit system?
During the school hour.
Still, or like years ago, or is it even about?
It was a couple years ago. As a student. So when you're taking that, and to say you're starting there and you have to go all the way out there, and then you have to go all the way into the 6th ward after that, and then still get all the way to the other side of town within the hour, when when they don't even leave the school until 20 after.
Yeah, I'm just wondering
That's,
if that person.
you know, in high school, they don't even leave the high school. High school doesn't even get out until 25 after.
Yeah.
So, I mean-
Does that person still live there?
Could be somebody. Could be
They were
somebody-
students, I don't know.
Could be somebody different. I mean, they're renters, so.
Yeah,
Could change.
probably not even valid.
Okay, can I just ask, I'm trying to clarify, okay, so like in the mornings, you run 3 buses, right? Or do you
All day.
only run 3 all day?
All day.
So
Well,
what does
depending
the
upon
third
if we have
bus-
drivers, if there's school, I mean.
Yeah, so like the 3rd bus in the morning, does it run at 7 o'clock?
Yep.
Okay, and what does the 3rd, because don't you do 1 westbound, 1 eastbound,
And the third.
and then the 3rd? So what does the 3rd bus do then?
The third bus picks up all of your people.
Okay.
When you say all your people.
Kind-hearted. Kind-hearted and ODC.
ODC, okay.
Special groups.
Is that all over the city, or is it does that third bus crisscross and go all over the city and pick up people? I mean, because then what's the difference if you're going out to pick up?
It picks up all over the city,
Well,
and it's not only.
I think what Steve is saying is, are they on Pier Street and on State Street and on Main Street? Is that, yeah, that's,
I would think that it would have multiple stops.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they pick up
But I
at.
mean, it goes east, west, or south.
It would,
Right, that's what I'm saying is.
just like the east bus goes east-west.
But you see what I'm saying, is if you're going all over to pick up people for kind-hearted and for others, what's the difference if you're out in that area, you grab this person and take it to school, get them to school, or you take that person from school and take them home on that bus that crisscrossing outside the east-west.
We do that.
But if not outside the service area. And he's
Not outside the service area.
half a mile outside the service area, which, and it makes a circle around. I don't understand what the big deal is.
Again, we can talk about this till we're blue in the face. I guess the best way to do it would be to try it.
I can explain the difference. The difference is when we're doing it in the morning, it's picking up other people as well. Okay? And so it's busy in the morning.
Right, no,
Okay? His particular instance, that bus is also busy with a school kids at the 3 o'clock hour, because it was a student at the high school. So that high school bus is there at 3:30, picking up those kids. So the third bus isn't even available because it's already busing kids out to the 6th ward and all the way back across town. So that's where the third bus doesn't work in that 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock and 3 o'clock hour, and 8 o'clock, and there's other things too that bus does. So it's not that we can't service these other areas. I mean, we probably can. And for the most part, it would be okay. I'm guessing, I don't know. It's when we start going out there during busy hours that people might be late for work. I mean, if you're going out to Glen Drive and you have to go out to Delmer Drive and you have to go up to by the Mark on your 7 o'clock bus to try and get people to work at 8 o'clock at Walmart and kids all to school by 8 o'clock, that gets busy. I mean, that bus is busy right now.
Are we being used in place of the Merrill school system bus at all? I mean, they do make stops throughout the city.
Can I ask whoever's speaking right now, can they get a microphone close to them? I can't hear what they're saying.
Sorry, Rick, this is Rod. I was asking if we're taking the place of the MAPS buses in town. They do offer routes throughout the city, and are people choosing to use ours instead of the MAPS routes? As far as door-to-door pickups and instead of bus stops and...
I don't know if we're not utilizing, we do some stuff for maps, where we bill maps, but parents choosing us, I don't know if they're choosing us over a yellow bus or not. Sometimes they're not eligible for a yellow bus. Does that make sense?
Correct.
Because of where they live
Correct.
in relationship to the school?
Mm-hmm.
So they're too close to the school to get a bus? Is that the issue?
Sometimes, I guess. Is there limits on that? I don't know. If they
What the
live too
criteria
close.
is,
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
age or, could be, they have to be in second grade or under, or, so if you hit third grade, you're out. I don't know.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Rod.
Thanks.
So I guess that's the background as to why the
Okay.
service
Right.
area is what it is.
You've been saying you go to the Mark. When I look at the service map online, though, it's nowhere near the Mark. Is that changed?
We've always serviced the Mark for the aquatic center, but it's limited.
Yeah, because the picture on your website doesn't even have the.
Right, it's special
Correct.
events.
And
Wouldn't we
we're
call
voting
it
for
special events?
Special events.
Yeah, because there's even a pool on there, so that makes me think that
Yeah.
Mark is quite old.
It's Google Maps.
So would we be able to get like a map and then like the timings that you have so we can look at it more to know exactly what that looks like what Sue was saying before, like to know exactly what like times are, busy times, or like if you have like a normal route of what that looks like?
I can put together whatever you would like me to.
Well, just to look at like what it would take to get, like kind of what Sue was saying before,
Yeah.
like what it would take just to get to those couple spots that we're talking about.
Well, we've done the one out to the apartments. It's going out to the Mark.
Mhm.
We've done the one going out to Glen Drive, as far as time to go out there. We've done Rio Grande. We've not gone out.
I think Rio Grande would be the one that in my opinion, the Rio Grande is the one that would be
Eliminated.
really difficult to fit in. It's because I used to ride the bus after work, and there was one kid that went out way to the end of Rio Grande and had to go out another couple blocks just to turn around and basically turn around in a field. And that added, like, it was like 5 minutes each way, including the drop off. So, you know, it added 10 or 12 minutes onto a route, you know, where people were already getting home really late, and, you know, parents were waiting for their kids to get off the bus, and to have it on a regular route, it would stretch it beyond reason, I believe. Some of these other things, I think we haven't tried any of these things for a long time. And I would tend to agree with Rod and the mayor that I think we should at least give something a try here. Maybe we can not decide which areas at this meeting, but our next meeting is only a couple of weeks away. It's like 3 weeks away. So I think if we could have something in place and maybe a plan to at least say we'll try these areas and see how it affects the overall time. Maybe there'll be some glitches we have to look at remedying in another way. I don't think we ought to, because if something was passed that long ago, and I was also looking at the miles per passenger was down to 0.92, and it really hasn't been up above 1.1 since 2020. And if we could look at something to try, maybe throw a couple of those areas in there, the ones that are the most asked about, which one would be, to me, it would be like Glen Drive. And if anybody is called, you know, for the apartments, or Delmore is the name of the other street. I haven't heard of a lot of other areas that were requested to be gone through. So if you could slap something together for us, Brad, for the next meeting.
If I had to say right now, those areas would probably only cause delays in the 7 o'clock hour, 8 o'clock hour, the 9 o'clock hour, and the 3 o'clock hour, depending upon which way you're going.
Yeah.
You know, so when you're looking at school hours and early morning hours going east, that's when the additional time isn't really there. I mean, as it is right now, our eastbound bus that's picking up in the ward and picking people up that go to work and to school and work at Walmart, that bus is getting out to Walmart at 8 o'clock, 8:01, 8:02. So those people are pushing their limit to being late already. So if you're adding time to go out to those other places, that person's definitely going to be late for work. Yeah.
Is that the third bus, or is that the eastbound?
That's the eastbound bus.
That's the okay.
And the third bus is, I mean, we've put stuff on the third bus already. You know, other than school kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we try and keep that, but then the third bus has to also get back out to the 6th ward. So it's not like
So
going
there's
across
two.
town and
Okay, so there's two that are going out to the 6th ward to pick up people at 8 or 9.
at
Because
At
you have
7
the
o'clock.
westbound bus plus.
at 7 o'clock, yes. We
Okay,
have 2 buses going into the ward. One
okay,
at 7. At 8 o'clock, there's, I think, 1 bus going out there. The third bus, I think, goes up to Taylor Street.
okay.
But we go
Well-
out, I mean, if you're going out into the ward, just about every morning at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock,
Mhm.
one of the two. A lot of days both,
I
depending upon
just-
who works when.
Oh, Denise has a question.
Okay, go ahead, Denise.
So, thank you. Since Brad knows that interference already in those particular hours and times and places, would it be possible in our, if we do a trial and pick one area, to do like a modified time offering for those people that would like to ride? So if you lived at Delmore Drive, or the other one you're talking about, the apartments, we can offer you the service, but those hours when we need to do the cross-town and school kids, it's too difficult at that time, but we could start your service at 9 o'clock and go until 1 o'clock, something like that.
That's defeating the purpose.
But we'd like,
That would be defeating the purpose of the gentleman here.
And I think you're being very arbitrary in the areas that you've, not you guys, but the previous transit commission selected.
right.
You know, they tried to.
Yeah, I know.
The more populated areas.
It's just a-
Now we have 72 units plus 18 new homes out by the mark. We have probably in excess of 20 plus probably another 19 lots available out there, which are gonna be populated, so.
You know, I'm gonna just say, I paid taxes on 3 of them, you know, so I don't just pay taxes on one piece of property out there's 3.
So I couldn't hear that.
And I mean, and I guess to go along with it, yeah, I mean, houses are being built everywhere, so you kind of have to look as the houses are built to where the populated areas are growing in the community
Yep.
as well. Especially when it's apartments and things like that.
Another thing I want to state too
Families
is my
and
son is
children.
still in school, so it's not a regular ride he would be doing now. It's one to teach him independent living skills, trying to get him the ability to travel places and shop at places. And then maybe next year, I think he's going to be doing the workshop down at Aspires Hospital. So it might not be next year he'd have a job, it would be the year following that. But if you don't have transit to get to these places, you're very limited on what his ability is.
To where you can go.
Yeah, so we have to have this stuff kind of planned in the forefront, you know, I can't tell you he's gonna ride the bus at 7 in the morning. Right now, he's probably gonna ride it once every couple of months, you know. The reason he called it last month is, or really earlier this month, is that they had a school out early and his, county provided mentor, gave him training on how to ride the merry-go-round. And so it was very disheartening when he called and they said he couldn't ride it.
We could ride only to this point. Yeah,
Well, the problem
yeah,
is,
and then
that
he
point is fine, I
Yeah.
walked a half a mile down there, but it was sub-zero.
Right,
So that's
yeah,
not very
that's-
fair, because I don't
No.
think the merry-go-round can tell them we're gonna be here at this exact minute.
No,
Yeah.
To have them stand outside for a half a mile, it just doesn't.
no, no.
Like I said,
Okay,
I'm sorry, Rick, go ahead.
I think I think I'm going to go back to having Brad throw something together for our next meeting. I don't know that we're ready to vote on an area or areas to open up immediately. Not without a couple of weeks. If Brad can, maybe look at some times. Or maybe the areas that would be the best to try to start with. Maybe that Delmore, out by the apartments, and Glen Drive, and not try to stretch it out any further than that right now. I think we kind of have to know what it's going to do to our schedules. Maybe there'll be another way we have to put schedules together. I'm not sure, but that's something that I think we're here to try to solve, and I'd like to see it solved for as many people as possible in Maryland. Certainly people who are, have disabilities and they're trying to use the bus to be independent as much as possible.
Brad, is there any way you can work with this gentleman over the next 3 weeks if needed?
Yeah, I mean, whatever we can do, we can do. I mean, ultimately, it's the commission's decision. Like I said, I can express to you that I personally think, based on history and times right now, if it's 7 o'clock and 3 o'clock, they're busy hours. That you are possibly going to have people late for work, or late for school, or late for doctor's appointments, in those hours. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, going east are usually pretty busy, but after that, I mean, you can make it work. I mean, if we gotta make it work, we'll make it work. We'll do whatever the commission wants. I mean, if the commission says we'll open it up, and we'll open it up.
And then we'll problem solve.
And then we'll
Yeah.
figure out.
Yeah, I mean, whatever we do, I don't think we'll be passing this on whatever we decide next month. It won't be set in stone. And, we'll have to. It's going to have to be on a trial basis. See if it meets the needs for the people that need the bus, and see what the ridership is like too. Like how many people are using it, and what times are they using it, and we'll have to kind of take it from there.
I don't think Rod touched on this, but I think I was told at one point that the reason that the places are not in the service area was because of lack of ridership. And understandably, that out by the Mark, there wasn't any apartments
Right?
there.
I mean, there's a lot out there
So,
now.
but even so, the apartments
Right.
have been there for a few years now, and we've had one request, which means there's not a lot of ridership out there.
Or that they know that we don't.
Correct.
And so nobody's calling to ask because.
I think that's possible. Mm-hmm.
Correct. I
mean,
agree with you
if they're
there,
looking
yes.
at the map online, right? And they're going, they aren't gonna give me a ride anyway, so I'm not gonna call and ask. So there is that kind of,
I mean,
you
that's
know.
possible too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But we certainly should try.
Consider.
Yes, yes.
I think so too. Yeah, and I think I don't know that I'm going to refer a final make a motion to refer this decision to our February meeting, and we'll come up with a plan and some way we can do our best to meet the needs and see how the bus can meet those needs. So the referral is to the February meeting. So that's a motion. I'd entertain a second for that.
Can I ask when the February meeting is?
I'll second that, February 19th.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the service area will be on the February agenda. Okay, and now we're on to future agenda items. Oh, we know one. Anything else out there that we need to?
I guess I have been
Look at-
asking Brad to do this, is to get on the radio. Now, this is something that we could, put out there too. We're thinking of widening our spaces. And I know, Brad, you don't feel that we have enough for every month, like the fire department, the street department, the police department is on. But we can get on quarterly.
If this service area were to go, thing, I mean,
Right. But I just think we need to we're a community service organization, and we need to make them aware of what we do. Even if you repeat it every quarter or every month, it's okay, because you're going to have different people listening and saying, oh man, I forgot about that. So please make an effort to try and get on.
I will do that.
And if you can't get there, you could even tape those ahead of time. Whatever works out for you. They're very helpful there, I think.
They are.
Thank you.
I agree.
I do too, yeah. Any other future
I had-
agenda items? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just suggesting I had new neighbors move in, and they didn't think that they needed the Merrill-Go until she just had knee surgery, and now she needs to get up to the hospital for therapy. And her husband is disabled, and so I mentioned it to her. So she might have heard it on the radio inadvertently if I hadn't told her, but she might not have. Not everybody listens. So, but any efforts to our newcomers or people who even forget that we have it and then suddenly they need something. So I agree with Sue too. Thank you for listening.
Any other future agenda items? Okay, then the next meeting date is February 19th, 2024 at 4 p.m. in the City Hall Council Chambers. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Okay,
Thank you.
sounds like we're all in agreement, so we're